How's it going, folks? My name's Steve. Today I want to have a look at some creative applications for the sidechain effect. Specifically, I want to look at sidechain gating. The first example uses sidechain gating to produce a stuttering effect like a pseudo tremolo. Let's check it out. Let's check out Cortex control for how to set this up. So I started out with a basic amp and cabinet. In this case, it's a high-powered twin, and the cab is mic'd with a 57. But you could use anything you want. I'm hitting the amp with a tube screamer for more saturation and level, and I've also got a stereo digital delay mixed in parallel. So that takes care of the basic guitar sound. Let's configure the sidechain part. Add the adaptive gate sidechain block in between the tube screamer and the amp, then choose the source for the sidechain input. In this case, I'm going to choose USB 5. This is because I'm going to run an audio file of a rhythmic pattern out of my DAW, which is Logic in this case. My QC is being used as an audio interface via the USB cable connection. I'm just using a DAW, but if you wanted something a bit more portable, then you could easily export the audio file into a loop pedal and connect that to one of the QC's FX loops and select that FX loop as a sidechain source. Maybe in the future, Neural will add things like sequencers or storage space for loops, and the Looper X block could be used as a sidechain source. Okay, back to the sidechain block. I'm setting the noise reduction to 100% because I want a hard block of any sound when the gate closes. Now I'll jump into Logic and show you how I set up the rhythmic pattern for the sidechain. So I selected a new software instrument track and chose the ESM monophonic synth. You could choose anything else that gives you good results, but this was what worked for me. I needed something that sustained sufficiently without tapering off, so I maxed out the decay parameter to achieve this. Then I chose a note in the piano roll and started to write in my rhythmic pattern on the grid. To test the pattern, I set up a second software instrument track and chose a test oscillator from the utility menu. And then I set the output of the track to mono output 7. I set the pitch to a sine wave type and 180 Hz, basically something not so piercing and at a sensible volume. Next, I edited the input on Cortex control to USB input 7, as it needs to be on a different pair to USB 5.6. This is where the sidechain input is being routed, and the only other options are USB 7 or 8 that will route the audio through the preset correctly. So whilst the sidechain pattern was playing there, you could see some things going on via this USB I/O settings window in Cortex control. So the test tone was coming in on in7 over USB, the sidechain was coming in on in5 over USB, and we had some signal passing through on the out 3 and 4, but that's because the output on the preset is set to multi-out, which of course goes to output 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and USB 3 and 4. So once you're happy with your sidechain pattern, you can then mute the test sound and change the input from USB 7 back to input 1. Let's listen to how the guitar sounds now with the pattern. Alright, a couple of things you want to factor in here. One, you may also need to experiment with the level coming from your sidechain source versus the level when the sidechain block is inactive to get the right balance. For me, it was somewhere around -20 dB. Two, there will be no sound when the sidechain pattern isn't playing because the adaptive gate is set to 100% noise reduction and it doesn't open from the guitar playing, only from the sidechain pattern. To transition out of this silence, you may want to change to another scene where the adaptive gate sidechain block is inactive, or alternatively you can assign the block to a stomp to switch it off. Alright, that's just one way to use sidechain gating. It's a little involved to set up, but once you have the method down, then you can do all sorts of customized patterns. I plan on doing a follow-up video using all those envelope filter blocks you saw earlier, so look out for that one. Thanks for watching. Until next time, sidechainers.